All right, Comtech. So this next project is going to be double exposure. Yes, double exposure is the name in Photopea. What we're going to do is do this practice problem today with this picture and one of the two other pictures that you get to choose. You're going to overlay the Boston skyline into one of two people's heads. It could be this guy or this lady. Doesn't matter which one. Today is the exercise. Tomorrow, you get to choose a city, a skyline, a location of your choosing, and then overlay that into a photo of you. So let's start this. 6 and 1/2 dozen in the other. Let's go with this woman right here. So the first thing that I want to do is, and most of these steps will be for both, doesn't matter which one you choose, will be to flip the photo. No matter which one you use, you can see they're both facing left. We want it facing right. I'm going to go into image, transform, and flip horizontally. That just automatically flips her over. Next thing that I want to do is crop this image. So I'm going to go to crop tool on the left side. You can also use the hotkey just C. And that'll do. And good. The next thing that I want to do is change the image size. When you're just looking at a photo on the screen like this, it's kind of hard to imagine how big it is. What we can do is go into image size, and the width, and this is in pixels, is 211, and the height is 206. We're going to change that. We are going to go up to 1,000, and when one changes, the other should as well. And so that just zooms in, and to zoom out, you can press Control minus. So it just blew the picture up a little bit. It'll be just a bit easier for us to work with. Next, I want to add a background. Right now this says it's background, but I need another layer. I need to get rid of all this, the bluish background for this. So it's going to be a white background that she's on. And then we can start to overlay the photo of the Boston skyline. So down here on the bottom, I'm going to click New Layer. And that layer, since it's above background, is now on top. I want to just paint it white. So over on the left, you might see the gradient tool because that's the default. If you click and hold, the paint bucket tool will appear. I click on that. Down in the bottom, there's two colors, the primary and secondary colors. I want the white one. And so I'm in the paint bucket, white, good. Now, this layer is above my background, so I want to switch that. I'm just going to click and drag. And then we're good. The next thing, I'm going to press the move tool, just because the move tool is a little bit more of a standard tool. I want to select all of this background and then delete it so it's her head on a white background. You have learned the lasso tool, and the lasso tool could work, but there's a better way to do this. Over on the left, you might see object selection. Click, hold, down to magic wand. And magic wand, I'm just going to click. Oh, hold on. Wait, why did that happen? Why did the whole thing select? Well, you see how I'm selecting layer 1? I need to select background. So I'm going to press Control D to deselect. I'm going to click in the background. Make sure I'm in magic wand. And then I click right there. A few different things. The feather, you might have it set to 0 pixels. 3 is a good number. And tolerance, this is how precise it's going to be. 16, 20, something like that. And contiguous means that it's connected. I want to select all the rest of this as well. So I'm going to press Shift, click on that, and on that as well. And just keep going until I select everything. So next, I've selected that. I'm going to hit backspace. And there we go. It's her on the white background. Next. I'm going to press Control D to deselect. That's also in the select option. You can click Control D. I'm going to go over to my Boston skyline photo. So I've opened that up. Remember, File, Open. And, I'm in the wrong tool, Control D, Move tool. I want to select everything, but first I want to check the size. Image size, it's around 750. I already know this is going to work. For this, 750 works. When you choose the image to overlay your head, right, you might need to play around with the sizes. I did that because if it was a larger photo, the buildings wouldn't fit in the space given and all that. So I went with 750. I need to select all of it, so I'm going to press Control A for select all. You can also go through the all select right here. Control A, Control C for copy. Go right here and Control V. I'm using the Move tool, and I'm just going to kind of roughly line that up. But now I can't see if it's precise. So over on the right, I'm working in layer 2. There's this thing called opacity. Opacity is basically how translucent, how see-through something is. 100% means it's solid, you can't see through it. 0, it would be invisible. And it's a percent gradient. I'm just going to slide that down, and you can see that it becomes see-through. I'm going to hold that around 50%-ish. And move it around, so yeah, that'll work. Cool. So what I need to do next is make the mask that so it stays within her head. I'm going to right click on layer 2 and hit clipping mask. And all of a sudden, anything outside of that is good. I also need to work on the background layer. I'm going to select her hair as the mask. I'm going to go back to Magic Wand. I can click a few times. There's a couple of gaps. We can repair that later on, but I'll get as much of it as I can. Redo that clipping mat. No. That's there. Now, this is it. I'm going to go to, right now I have selected everything within that hair section. What I want to do is select everything outside. So I'm going to inverse selection and then just hit backspace. And remember, I'm still working on layer 2. So that's all good. I have the skyline in there. I'm going to deselect everything. Still on that. I can move it a little bit if I want to, but you'll see that it's no longer there in the back. So we're good. So that's pretty much all we need to do. The more time you spend lining it up, the better, because then you won't see these harsh edges and all that. What I could also do is go into the lasso tool, just using normal lasso, draw more of a soft curve to that, and then delete it. Nice. Next, I want to add some effects to this. To do the effects, I want to add it to all 3 at once, and I want to combine all 3 layers. So I'm going to right-click on this and merge down. Right-click on this and merge down. So now it's all one layer. In the image toolbar, I'm going to come up here. Filter toolbar first. Sharpen, unsharp mask. And I'm going to drop that to this is slow, 95 or so. That makes it pop a little bit more. Press OK. And then I'm going to go into image, adjustments. Hue and saturation would work, vibrance is all right, but the one I really care about is curves. Curves, and now here we can change the color profiles of the red, blue, and green colors in here. So I'm going to click in the middle to anchor it. And I'm going to click here and drag, and click here and drag a little bit. And it just makes the colors look a little bit better, adds more of an effect to it. I mean, we knew it was photoshopped anyways, or photopeed anyways, but it just makes it look a little bit cooler. And you can mess around with this to your liking, and you can just make it look how you want it to look. I also left it, before I merged down, I left it at 50% opacity. If you wanted that to be solid, you could. This was one that I did the other time. This was, I did not lower the opacity, or rather I put the opacity back up. So that's just 100%. Both are completely valid. And you can see with this one versus this one, I changed the crop a little bit, changed the color profile a little bit. So you have some variability. So again, today what you're doing is following along with this tutorial with the Boston skyline and one of these two photos. Then what you need to do to prepare for tomorrow is take a photo of yourself. So like a nice side profile of yourself, and then find a picture of a skyline or a location. Could be the Grand Canyon, something like that, where you want to go. So this is a reflection of you now. Where do you want to see? In this, we just made up that these people want to be in Boston. It could be Boston, but try to use a different photo. If you have any questions, feel free to join the Google Meet and ask me them. I am here to help you. Have a great